Well, it's your fault. You need to fertilize. You need to water and fertilize. Those are the key things right now. And my stuff, I'm guilty, isn't looking super awesome right now, but I also have not fertilized in 2 weeks. All right, so it's time to get that fertilizer rolling. Let me show you how I fertilize through a fertilizer injector on a large scale. When you're gardening, you need a fertilizer injector. All right, so come on guys, let's get started. So this here is a injector, okay? My dad has it nice and set up for me already. So the injector just comes as is, this with the tubing, and then the bottom tube here, which my dad rigged it for me. So it just comes as is, but as you can tell, my dad put a weight on it, and that's so it floats all the way to the bottom, or sinks all the way to the bottom. So that way it's not just floating on top and sucking in air, because you don't want it to dry out and suck in air. That can pretty much blow out your entire injector. So then what else you're gonna need is a hose end like this to attach. So it attaches here, as you see with the arrow, it says flow this way. This is where this one end attaches. And then the other end is a matching end like that you attach to your water spigot. All right, attach that to your water spigot, and then your hose end that usually attaches to the water spigot attaches here where the arrow says flowing outward. So that way the water flows in, it injects through, carries up the fertilizer water through here, and then out through the hose where you're watering. My dad attached it to an actual dolly, so that way it's easily movable. And here you're gonna want a pail. This is where you're gonna put your fertilizer water. I did 4 cups of water-soluble fertilizer, so it's a really strong mixture. This does not go directly on your plants. This is going to be dispersed through this tube and evenly dispersed through the water when you water. So once I put the fertilizer in there, I fill it up with water, I get an old stick or a stir stick, whatever you got, and I use it to stir. I make sure it stirs until I no longer feel any type of residue on the bottom. That's how you know you've got a good mixture. And if you have a bug problem, you can go ahead and mix whatever it is you use to help keep down your bug problems, such as thrip or aphids. I use neem oil, so I'm gonna also throw this in the pail, and I'm gonna put a large amount of it, I'll show you. So that way, not only am I distributing out fertilizer for my flowering plants, but I'm also distributing out the neem oil, since it acts as a systemic to get rid of bad bugs. I'm going to add the neem oil in here, and I'm going to add a large amount because this is a highly concentrated mixture here. So I'm going to add about a half bottle in here. I know that sounds crazy, like a lot, but it doesn't hurt your plants. But like I said, it's high concentrated in here, so you want to make sure to have a good amount of it. And then you're going to want to mix it in between watering too, because like I've told you before, and most of you know, oil and water separate. So you always want to make sure it's being mixed into there, since the actual part of the injector is down at the bottom. And now the next thing we do is water. Before you go and water, you want to run the water until you see blue coming through. That way you don't just start watering your plants with no fertilizer running through. So it takes a little bit depending on how long your hose is, but as soon as you start seeing a little hint of blue, you're good to go. In this case, I can smell it. We're ready to go. My goal here is to make sure that this just gets soaked with the fertilizer water. So what I do is I let the hose just sit right in there. I let it sit in there until there's a pool of water in there, and until I see the water literally draining out the bottom, because I have not fertilized in almost 2 weeks. So everything really needs fertilizer. Once this planter is soaked with fertilizer, you're gonna see such a huge difference. This thing is getting ginormous. It's amazing. Right now I'm watering my window boxes, and as you can see, the water's dripping out. So now I'm gonna remove my hose and move it down a little bit until it keeps dripping all the way through. As you can see here, the whole box is dripping, okay? On fertilizing day, that's what you want. You want it to drain all the way through, draining out So that way you know the fertilizer has hit all the way through to the bottom of the root systems throughout all the plants in your window box, planters, anything with drainage holes. So that concludes my lesson for today. When you get yourself a fertilizer injector when you're gardening on such a large scale, it saves you so much time. I was able to even get in a ton of swim time, hang out fun time today. It just really saves time when you've got that injector. So that way you can enjoy your garden and you can enjoy your family. It's so nice, right, Lana? Mwah. So now I would like to take you guys on a little tour of the updates of the garden. Just a little extra on this video for you. Alrighty, let's take a look.
Here comes Lana with her purse.
Ow.
You okay?
Would they be anywhere else?
Magic spell. Bingo Fun.
garden over there. Let's head to the front of the house so you guys can see some of the updates on my flowering window boxes and that large mammoth planter and a couple other little surprises I got for you. That's it. That's the garden oasis. Thank you for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it.